Hello, my name is Andy Greer.
Hi, I'm Sandy, and this is Dobson's Lab.
Hi everyone, my name's Jessica, and this is my entry for Christian Henson's piano book.
Hi Christian, it's Kyle here from Signal Sounds. I'm working from home today, but Signal Sounds is running as normal for the foreseeable future.
So welcome to a somewhat pimped version of one of these. Right, so Kellen and I we're social distancing, aren't we, mate?
Oh yeah, as one should.
As one should. But basically, Kellen, you've been really working incredibly hard this week. What have you been up to?
Yeah, so I've been taking all of your wonderful piano book submissions or piano day submissions and uploading them to our master templates, putting it into Logic, putting it into our spreadsheet, and downloading all of the videos, which there have been quite a few.
And we're going to find out later exactly what that number is. Kellen hasn't told me yet. He's been very secretive about it. We know it's above 300, but what is that final figure going to be? Right, inspired by this jam that you and I did a few weeks back, this has been an amazing journey to create the world's biggest system event. And I thought I'd just add my final layer, and why not add a layer of modular? And this, I thought, would be a good opportunity to maybe create a patch that was nice and simple, that would demonstrate why I refer to this form of music as systems music, not minimalism. So I wanted to answer this question. What is systems music, or as it's more commonly known, minimalism? A phrase that's hated by the minimalists who make systems music. When you think of minimalism in art and architecture, you think of maybe Bauhaus. Systems music really is very far away from that. It's not dour, it's colourful, it's eclectic. It is, chaos theory and the butterfly effect all rolled into one, and at times pure vaudeville. So let me make a patch so I can describe to you what I think at the heart, at the core, is what systems music is all about. I'm going to use this Polyend Polysec as the brain, and that's going to interface with Frankensynth. So we've got MIDI channel 1 gate going into the 2HP pluck, and then pitch going into the pitch in, and the output going straight to the mixer. I've created a cycle in maths, which is going to be controlling the decay CV input on pluck. This is to introduce an aleatoric or seemingly random element into the patch. Next voice, gate to trigger on mutable instruments plats, with pitch going into the pitch input, output back into the hex mix, finally 2 auxiliary outs into magneto, and tap it so it's nicely in time, and that's it. Right, nice, simple patch set up there that I think is going to sit nicely as a bit of icing on this systems event. So what is systems music? Well, the way that I would describe it is cells of music, so phraselets, motifs, or harmonic ideas put together in a system where the system itself changes the interaction between those cells. I think a very simple example of that is this sequence that you heard me setting up here. So here's one cell. A sequence based on 32 steps, 32 16th notes, if you will. Now let's have a listen to this second cell. So you can see those really working well in sympathy. Could almost sound like a single synth playing a 2-note riff. So what if we're going to take this first sequence and put it out of phase? It's 32 steps long now. Let's make it 31. So if I keep my finger there, this is 32 steps, this is 31. Let's have a look. they go out of phase. They're 2 out now. 3. So, let me run this down as the final layer, and what you'll be able to see is slowly, eventually, the second sequence will lap the first. It'll basically catch up with it and go back into phase. And I think the thing that's really fascinating, if you listen to it, is that whilst it may be repetitive, it's constantly changing. And as it changes, and as you become kind of mesmerized by it, all different melodies that you didn't hear before, and phraselets and phrases and rhythms will suddenly emerge. And if you add further complexity, more sequences within that system, that makes for what I find to be an incredibly uplifting form of music. And if you wanted to investigate this further, I think a really great entry point is Steve Reich's Music for 18 Musicians. Utterly compelling, mesmerising, but also just so beautiful to listen to. His original recording is the one to check out. Let's get this going. I won't make you endure the entire phase, but let's just have a look at it at the beginning and then at the end. So we'll be back to that later, alongside the total number of submissions, and I guess it's time to come up with a title. So I've been dwelling over that. But first, and there's a distinctive charitable flair to this week's Divorceware, with 2 majors, Moog offering up their Model D iOS for absolutely free, and Korg offering their Chaosilator also for free on iOS. So if you've got an iPhone, iPad or an Android device, well worth catching. But hats off to the developers who are making some amazing donationware, not least Fluffy Audio. But why don't we let Andy explain that one?
There's a company in Lombardy called Fluffy Audio. And Fluffy Audio, I'll put a link in the description below. They are a plugin developer. Now, as we all know, Lombardy is, one of the worst hit areas for the coronavirus right now. So this plugin developer, they are offering up one of their first plugins that they made called My Piano, and they're offering it for a price of like €10, with the idea that €10 every week they're going to donate all of that money that they get, all the income, straight to local authorities, local hospitals trying to hire on more staff, all the emergency services that are trying to get to where they need to get to help, everyone. So yeah, I mean, just go get it. That's plain and simple.
All of those listed below, well worth donating. But also our very own Sandy, he's been contributing to Piano Day, but has also set up his own YouTube channel. So please subscribe and check out his first jam on that channel. And I also see that Homai has been digging out her modular rack for this Piano Day extravaganza. Right, so let's get back to this systems patch and my demonstration of what I think is at the core of systems music. And there we go. So you saw that eventually they caught up and got back in phase. And that's what I love about systems music. It starts together and then it just separates into all of these amazing constituent parts, all singing and ringing and bouncing off each other. Right, so that's the last layer of this epic systems event recorded. Tomorrow I roll my sleeves up. And I guess it needs a name. And in honour of Steve Reich's seminal, epiphanal music for 18 musicians, I've decided that this is going to be called Music by 300 Strangers, even though there's more than that. So, Music by 300 Strangers, Kellen, but what is the actual number?
The actual number of video submissions for, some people uploaded multiple, but the full number, 381.
Jake's got his work cut out for him, and so do indeed I. I've got to roll my sleeves up. The world premiere of this will be on Saturday the 28th of March, the 88th day of the year at 1700 hours GMT. But we've been promoted. It's not going to be on this channel. It's actually going to be the first piano book production for Spitfire Audio, a channel with double the subscribership to this channel, so it's going to reach that many more people. And straight after the premiere of that film, there'll be a longer, more in-depth version back on this channel. So do subscribe to both and ding that notification bell, and you'll be able to register for the premieres as and when those go up. And there is an amazing surprise that I just got it in under the wire before people started having to stay indoors and stuff. I hope, it's certainly really moving for me, so it is going to really be worth tuning in on. So, Saturday 1700 GMT, but on the Spitfire Audio channel, and then back here straight afterwards for our own premiere of a longer, more in-depth version where the contributors amongst us can see how I used your materials. So it would be churlish not to subscribe nor ding that bell for notifications. More so because I'm going to try and keep you up to date daily about my ongoing process. This is really when the hard graft just begins. So, from myself and Kellen, we'll sign out for now. Oh yes, one of those for Kellen would be much appreciated. But Kellen, thanks a lot, mate. Take care and see you next time.